So today we're going to be discussing about the basic economic concepts and the economic system.
The basic economic problem. Resources are used up in the production of goods and services. If an activity fails to satisfy human needs or wants, it is therefore not a productive activity. According to economists, the problem of how to make the best use of scarce resources. The economic problem exists because the needs and wants of people are unlimited, and resources are very scarce. Human needs and wants. All people have the same human needs, but different wants. Everybody needs human needs to survive, but not necessarily human wants. The problem is not limited resources, it's the scarcity of resources and the allocation of resources. Even though there are limited resources, it will take a long time to run out of it, because the earth is a really big place, and you can even renew some resources like wood, corn, or food. Choosing what to produce and what to consume. Free goods are what we need or what we want without limits. Economic goods are always limited in supply, like a car, a computer, or any other goods. We consume goods and services when we use them to satisfy our wants and needs. We consume the services of television companies when we watch them. Consumption is using up services of goods and services. Consumer goods are goods that satisfy people's wants and needs. Some are called consumer durable because they last a long time. For example, cars, washing machines, and so on. Capital goods are like screwdrivers, drills, tractors, and so on. Capital goods aren't used to satisfy wants or needs. It's used for the production of other goods and services.
Now moving on to the factors of production. Factors of production refer to different elements that are used in producing goods and services. There are 4 factors of production, which include land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Land are the raw materials available from mining, fishing, and many more. Land is considered the primary factor of production. Land is rich in coal and water, which are used for generating power. Land is required to construct factories and industries to carry out the production process. So land is very important to mankind. Labor is the effort that people contribute to the production of goods and services. An example of labor is when people can transform resources into goods or services available for purchase. Enterprise is when a business can take the initiative to set up a business and taking risk. Entrepreneurs need access to money from either savings or loans from banks to get a business started. Capital can be the money that companies use to buy resources, as well as the physical assets companies use when producing goods or services. Capital is an important factor of production, since it's what allows labor and land to be purchased.
When factors are used, they earn a reward called factor rewards. Factor rewards are wages, interest, and profits. In the basic economic theory, the more scarce and essential the factor, the greater the reward. Wages are the amount you pay the workers per hour, or when they finish a task. Workers get different wages depending on where, what job they work on, and how good their skills are. Interest is used to pay the people and organization. It's used to supply or invest capitals in firms. The capitals are the goods such as machines and tools. And last but not least, profit. Profits are the amount your firm is making. If your firm is making more money than it is taking to produce the products, then that is called profit.
Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative when a decision is made and what is given up. Every decision we make involves an opportunity cost because the resources we need to produce goods and services are limited in supplies. Opportunity cost involves in consumers, producers, and governments' lives. Opportunity cost involves in consumers' lives because they must choose how much of their income they want to save and how much to spend. For example, if a customer chooses to buy goods that cost $250, they have given up the opportunity to save $250 for goods they want to buy later. If the customer chooses to save $250 for goods to buy later, they have given up the opportunity to buy 200 goods that cost $250. Producers also must decide what goods they will produce, how much they will produce, and how best to obtain and organize the resources they will need for production. Since the producers can only decide on one factor, the opportunity cost is the other choices that they've given up on. Governments must decide as well how best to spend public money and how they will finance it. An example is if a government wants to decide to either build more motorways or make more schools for educational services, if they decide to build more motorways, the opportunity cost is that they will be the foregoing of additional and educational services. Next topic is economic system. People and firms produce, exchange, and consume goods and services in an economy. An economy that can be any size and with any number of people and forms involved. Every economy must decide what goods and services to produce and how to produce them, and who should produce them. Economists refer to this as the problem of resources allocation. Every economy must choose how and how much land, labor, enterprise, and capital to assign to different productive uses. After the business or company decides on what to produce, they need to decide on how to produce it, like what tools are needed, how many workers are needed, how much land is needed. And in addition to all that, there are many different ways to produce the item. And after they answer what to produce and how to produce it, the last question is who should get the goods and services must be answered by society as a whole. Because some people are stronger than others, while some people may work harder than others, others may be weak and be unable to work at all. Should everyone receive an equal share of all the goods and services produced, or even if some people are in greater need than others? So, how an economy decides what goods and services to produce, how to produce them, and who to produce them for is called its economic system. There are different types of economic systems. One is a market economic system, so all decisions are taken by private sector, organization, and individuals. Since there is no government or a public sector in the market economic system, there will be no taxes.
The production possibilities curve is a graph that shows all of the different combinations of output that can be produced given current resources and technology. So PPC is a curve that shows the amounts of two products that can be produced when both depend on the same resources. The curve of the PPC does not tell how much of each good the economy needs to produce, but it only tells them of how many goods they must give up if they are to produce more of the other good. If the production possibility curve shifts to the left, the highest point on the curve is when you only produce one good, on the y-axis, and zero of the other, and on the x-axis. All the points in between are a trade-off of some combination of the two goods. An economy operates more efficiently by producing that mix. The reason is that every resource is better suited to producing one good than another. So the more specialized the resources, the more it will shift to the left. A PPC will shift to the left when an economy has suffered a loss of some of its scarce resources. This reduces an economy's productive potential. A PPC will shift to the left if resources run out, failure to invest, and many more. Thank you for watching.